And he was like, it's worth like 20. I don't remember what it was worth. Maybe like $5-10, 20. And I was just like, yeah, I don't care. Like, where's my actual gift?
Wow.
That's the best gift you ever gotten, low-key.
I know. Just at the time, I just didn't know what the it was. And I was like, this is...
He had 2 computers mining, and I thought it was sick. But everyone else made fun of him. I mean, he's probably chilling now.
Damn.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's always the people that get made fun of that end up on top.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode. All right, we are back. Wayne and I are here today with Tiffany Fong,
Okay.
crypto news reporter.
Thank you.
Crypto is back, huh?
I guess it's back. I mean, we're at 44K right now as we speak.
So you're about to be busy reporting on some scams, some frauds.
Yeah, if anyone wants to start a Ponzi scheme, then please let me know in advance.
Wow.
And let's get in touch.
So you can expose them.
Yes.
What was the first one you exposed?
And all of this just started at Celsius Network. I don't know if you guys have heard of Celsius or know too much about it. Okay. I mean, I wasn't talking about crypto or posting about it at all until Celsius went down, because I had 3.1 Bitcoins, 11.6 ETH, and some Matic and Aave and some other coins, which I don't know. You guys have more money than me, so it's probably not as big a deal to you guys.
That's a lot.
But it was a lot of money for me. I mean, when I put it in, it was well over 200K for me. So I was pissed off when that went down.
Was that like all your money?
I still have some money on the sidelines. I have some crypto on the sidelines. But it was a lot of my money. And yeah, I was just really depressed at that. Oh, wait. Is this clean
You could
show?
curse, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
We'll just censor it.
Yeah, just curse the storm.
Oh, okay, let's go. Let's go.
Get that trauma out.
Yeah, no, for real. Oh, well,
Heal.
if we want to talk about
let's
trauma,
heal.
we can talk about trauma. I mean, so a couple months before I lost all that money to Celsius, I was going through a breakup. So I was just already really depressed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Then I lost all that money. So I was just in bed, really sad every day. And I was like, okay, I need to start doing shit. So one of the random things I started doing was posting YouTube videos. So my first video was literally like, I just lost a lot of money to Celsius Network. And then that video, I mean, I had 0 followers or subscribers on YouTube at the time. And I was like, I'm just going to put this out there and no one's going to watch it.
Yeah.
But I think it got like 70 or 80K, and
Damn.
like for my very first YouTube video
More than
with
us,
no
bro. What the
following.
fuck?
Yeah.
Did you use hashtags or you just posted?
I don't even think I didn't know what the I was
Was
doing.
it Instagram or TikTok?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh,
So
which is
I
insane.
posted a TikTok and the TikTok did it well as well. But yeah, the YouTube video got like 70 something K.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that, obviously, with no following. I think it's just that I figure a lot of other people who lost money to Celsius were
Was
looking it
typing
up.
in Celsius, yeah.
And I knew I was doing that. So I was like, oh, I might as well just post updates about Celsius because
Right.
a bunch of other people lost money. So that's what I started doing. And I was posting updates about the bankruptcy. And after a couple of months of doing that, some employees inside the company started contacting me and being like, hey.
Whistleblowers?
Yes, whistleblowers. So they started sending me leaked information. So the first thing I received was a leaked, secretly recorded internal all hands meeting.
Jeez.
And so I worked with the New York Times a bit, and the New York Times did a story on it, and then I posted it in conjunction on my YouTube channel. So I started posting leaks, and that's not why I started my YouTube channel or anything, but that's how things snowballed.
But Celsius was able to file Chapter 11 instead of 7, right? So they're still in business.
Yes. Well, no, they're
now.
not still in business. They're in. We just haven't been able to get money back. And for the past year and a half, they've literally just been toying around with different ideas for what they could do.
And telling people like, this is possible.
This is possible for a year and a half. So no one's seen a dime back. We're not in business, so we're not making money. We're literally just bleeding money to bankruptcy lawyers right now for over a year and a half. So
the lawyers always win, right?
the lawyers always win.
Bankruptcies.
I didn't know anything about this stuff. Like, I'd never experienced being in a bankruptcy before. But
did they try to sue you for like leaking stuff?
they did. Well, so I ended up leaking a bunch of pieces of leaked information. The founder, Alex Mashinsky's wallet addresses and transaction history, some other files. And the thing that really set them off was leaking the bids on Celsius Network's assets. Like, they were trying to auction off some of Celsius's assets, and they didn't want us to know who was bidding on our assets. And I'm like, guys, we are the customers. We should know who's buying our assets or who's restarting the company.
Right.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to tell us. So someone leaked me the bids, and I leaked them.
So did they end up selling the company, or did they just file Chapter 11?
We've gone through so many iterations of it. They sold it for a bit, tried to clear this new plan with the SEC recently. SEC shot it down. So we're basically back at square one right now.
But at least they're not in the same predicament as Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yes.
Do you think he should have went that route, or was he too greedy? Like, what did he do wrong?
Well, Sam still regrets filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So we're talking about Sam Bankman-Fried for anyone who's not aware.
That's better than Chapter 7, right?
I don't know the difference.
Chapter 7 is like
Chapter
basically
7
an
means,
immediate
Sean,
liquidation.
you can't do nothing.
But to be completely
Chapter
honest,
11 just gotta
some
be
of
right.
us creditors who have been sitting through the Chapter 11 bankruptcy for over a year and a half are like, we should have just gone into Chapter 7. Because that's basically like fire sale of your assets, which may not be great because you're selling at low prices.
The reason why Chapter 7 isn't good is because they can basically just walk away. Chapter 11 allows them to restructure the company's terms and models and come back.
But that's the thing.
It gives them
Most
a second
of us,
chance.
it gives them a second chance, but a lot of us are like me, for example, I'm like, I want my money back. I don't want to be a part of your new company. So they're trying to start a new company like, hey, we can keep your ETH though, and then we can start staking it and earn some APY. So these are the plans they're coming up with. I'm like, how about you don't keep my ETH and give it back to me?
Especially now that it's up because they still have it, right?
Yeah,
it's still in their wallet?
Yeah, they still have
Well,
it.
who knows if they have it, honestly.
Nah, Sean.
They lost over 50% of our money. So
Still, that's a state. They have ETH. They have all the other coins.
But you heard her. They lost 50% of it.
over 50.
but still.
Yeah.
I mean, if it goes up over 50%, then
True.
yeah.
But they're
We'll
not going
see.
to give you double the ETH.
No, they're not.
I'd love for us to just like, well, I guess selling right now, we would be selling at a profit from the time
for
of the
sure.
bankruptcy. So
For
I'm
sure.
like,
and even for them, even let's say if they held on, the fact that it's up right now, they can still just kind of get rid of it and just have a clean slate.
Yeah.
But
it's true. It's true. It's been a nightmare.
How did the whole SBF thing happen?
Yeah. So Sam, I posted my very first piece of leaked information on September 13th, 2022. That was a leaked internal all hands meeting.
Right.
And Sam Bankman-Fried just randomly started following me on Twitter. And at the time, Sam,
this is before everything.
before everything happened. So everything went down November. Well, so, I mean, he was still the golden boy of crypto at the time that he followed me. So,
Oh, so you were hype.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, he was on Forbes, he was on Fortune. I honestly...
Still at the Heat Center. He was the FTX guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I honestly didn't know that much about him because I'd never used FTX, but I was like, oh, I've seen this guy in magazines. Like, this is a big shot.
Right.
And at the time, I had practically no following because I had just started posting on Twitter and YouTube like a month or two prior. So I messaged Sam and I was like, hey, thanks for the follow. And we just DM'd really briefly that day. He was just like, oh, I thought it was really interesting what you posted, whatever. I didn't think much about it. He commented on a few of my posts over the next couple of months. But then suddenly in November, FTX goes down.
And I know you was like, no, I gotta do a story on my homeboy.
On my homeboy. I know. So I was just like, okay, I've DM'd with this guy one time before.
Right.
I was like, our DMs are open. Company just went down. I'm just going to shoot my shot, see if he'd be willing to chat with me. There's no way this guy's going to talk to me. Like, first of all, you shouldn't be talking to random reporters in the first place. And I'm not even a reporter.
He's in right. He was in
I know, yeah. It was like, this guy might get indicted. You shouldn't be talking to anyone. And if he talks to someone, I was like, he's going to talk to the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, New York Times. So went about my day, didn't expect anything. I was just like, shot my shot.
Right.
And 5 days after I messaged him, so I messaged him on November 11th, the day they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. 5 days later, on November 16th, I was out on a date in New York City. I was drunk at like midnight, and I randomly see my phone light up. Sam Bankman-Fried messages me, and it's like a heart with a arrow and like a 3. And he's like, hey, free to chat for the next hour or so.
I know, he was like, yeah, sobered up.
Yeah, so I like ran home from a date.
You blew off that date.
I did. Well, the funny thing is the guy I was on a date with actually lost a ton of money to FTX. Because I met him through crypto and he was like, he told me he lost several millions of dollars. I never saw his account. I know men can exaggerate sometimes, so I don't know if he was
They do.
I don't know if he was being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, go home, talk to Sam, ask him where my money is. So yeah, I just like ran home, and then that started that was, I think, Sam's first, if not one of the very first interviews he gave after the collapse. So we hopped on the phone call for like an hour or so. A few days later, we hopped on the phone again. So I got 2 interviews. Then he set off on like a weird little media tour. So I don't know if you guys followed that, but he started doing a bunch of interviews
saw that.
2 weeks later.
Were
How
you
were those conversations?
were you recording them or not?
I did record those conversations. Yeah. Those like first 2 interviews. And
Are you interested in coming on the Digital Social Hour podcast as a guest? Well, click the application link below in the description of this video. We are always looking for cool stories, cool entrepreneurs to talk to about business and life. Click the application link below, and here's the episode, guys.
What was his mind state like? Like, where was he at mentally? Was he fearful? Was he like, damn, I really up?
That's what I was so curious about, like, how he'd act.
Was he like,
It was so weird. I mean, right after your multi-billion-dollar company collapses, I expected him to be devastated, crying, his voice shaking. I don't know, but I guess men are a little bit less, like, emotional than women.
Nah. When you talking about that much, especially a company scale that
how would
high,
you
that's
feel?
like, I wouldn't talk to you. I would be talking to the partners like, look, you're going to Mexico. I'm going.
Dude.
We are leaving tonight. I've been in
So fucking
Thailand.
true.
I think he tried to flee, right?
No, he didn't try
Oh,
to
he didn't?
flee.
No, I'd have
He
been in
didn't try to flee.
Thailand that
What the
same
hell?
night.
I've asked him why he didn't try to flee, and we've talked about that and stuff. But on those first two phone calls, first of all, maybe he didn't understand the trouble he was in because he hadn't been indicted yet, but he just sounded so unaffected. He was just like, hey, it's Sam. And I was like, how are you doing? And he's like, hasn't been the best week. And I was just like, what the?
Wow.
It could be
It's
the
so-
autism. He might not be able to
I think
feel.
So, like,
Oh,
I
he
think there
lacks
is something.
compassion.
Yeah.
That is the thing. I mean, like, the more I've gotten to know Sam, he certainly lacks the
Empathy. and
normal.
compassion,
Yeah, he does lack empathy. Like, he says he has difficulty feeling empathy, and
okay.
he says he has a very
I didn't know
limited
he had
emotional range.
autism.
A lot of guys in crypto do.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
guys do.
Pretty
I
much
mean,
all the top
he
ones.
hasn't been like professionally diagnosed, but I would say that most people who watch enough of his interviews are like,
You
the
could
guy's
tell.
kind of,
Yeah, you could tell.
yeah. But yeah, it was very strange. He didn't seem overly affected.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I don't think he understood the trouble he was in, and that's sort of the sense I got throughout our house arrest conversations, even after he got indicted. So, Sam, when we first had those first two phone calls, he hadn't been indicted yet. He thought that there was still a shot at reopening the company and him being this. Well, actually,
Yeah,
he filed for Chapter 11, but he
Yeah.
still wanted to play a role in the company. Then he set off on a media tour for a couple weeks, then got abruptly arrested in the Bahamas and thrown in jail for 8 days. And I figured this guy's not going to talk to me again because when I posted our interviews, there was one specific part of our first interview that I didn't know was going to get him into as much trouble as it did. But on our first interview, Sam admitted to me that he donated a lot of money dark to Republicans.
Yeah.
And I didn't follow Sam that closely, so I wasn't aware that that wasn't public information yet.
Yeah.
And I removed everything he said in the interview that he said off the record. So I removed all of that, and that was on the record. So I didn't think anything of it. And that got cited, first of all over the media, but also in the FEC, Federal Elections Committee or Commission complaint against him. So it actually got
Oh,
him
wow.
like into
Yeah,
deep
but
shit.
that's why I don't think he's going to do a lot of time in jail.
Didn't he just get sentenced to a lot of
No,
time?
he
though?
hasn't.
Oh, he hasn't?
I think he will be.
He's facing.
He's facing 115 years,
Right.
and I don't
Jeez.
think I don't think he'll get the max.
I said I think
but
he'll do 3 years.
No.
I don't think so,
Dude,
right? I don't
they got
think
a
so.
lot on him.
He's
They
not
got
going to do
too
3 years.
much.
He's not
Well,
going to do 3 years.
considering the people that he gave money, we don't know who he gave money to.
I think that
No,
at this
they know
point,
actually.
yeah, we
right?
know a lot. Yeah, we know a lot. I don't
So
know.
you
if
don't
we've
you don't think
released every-
that'll help?
I don't think so. I think if anything, it'll hurt him because I mean it is
Wow.
public. A lot of these donations and a lot of these politicians want to now very publicly distance
Distance.
themselves
Yeah.
from him. So if anything, they don't want to
Do you
look
feel like
they're
they want to
cozying
make
up.
an example out of him?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And with
Like,
financial crimes, it's always the amount.
yes,
So
yes.
like he's gonna get a lot of time.
Yeah, when you look at the sentencing guidelines, the amount, like you get enhancements for the amount stolen, and the
So what was his amount?
7 billion, right?
is I think more in the 8 billion
8
range.
billion.
Sam, you're sentenced to 7 billion years in jail.
Well, the guidelines stop and cut off at 550 mil. So there are increases in the amount of.
So he might get 50, 60 years.
The sentencing guidelines, I believe, based on a lawyer who counted this up, said that the guideline recommendation would be life.
Jeez.
So-
yeah. And
So how could this have been prevented? Like, is this a preventable thing? Like,
Yeah, I think so. Because the thing is, well, first of all, a lot of people hate Michael Lewis, and because Michael Lewis has been like a little overly positive about Sam. But ultimately, I mean, FTX itself was a profitable company.
Right.
But Sam was doing some things. Like, I mean, money, I don't, this is a really complex situation, but from the get-go, FTX and Alameda Research were two of Sam's companies, and I guess they're sister companies. And from the start of FTX, money was going to Alameda Research because FTX is a crypto company.
Right.
And in the beginning, when he just started FTX, he had difficulty getting banks to want to work with the crypto companies.
Correct.
So Alameda Research, his sister company, already had bank accounts. So he had FTX customers wire money to Alameda Research so that they could trade on FTX. So this was happening from the inception of FTX,
Right.
which
is illegal.
It's probably illegal, but also doesn't look as sinister and malicious. Like it wasn't like he intentionally put that in place so that he could around with customer funds. So I can understand why he put it in. Probably illegal, but the intent didn't seem to be like, I just want to ruin everyone's life. But I think over time, he eventually ended up using that money when like, I believe it depends on when you want to start the beginning of the fraud, but I think a lot of that money was used in summer of 2022 because Alameda had used a lot of third-party loans from lenders or whatever, and they were recalling their loans. FTX had used that money to put into illiquid venture investments and needed to repay those lenders. And ended up using some customer funds to cover up that.
Yeah. So all the donations were basically customer funds.
Yeah, it does look like a lot of the donations were customer funds.
Wow.
Maybe not all of them, but quite a bit of them.
And he was donating to both sides, right?
He was.
I saw that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Well, on the political side,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
He didn't pick one
apparently.
side. He did both.
And that was the thing he told me on the first interview that got cited in the FCC complaint. So.
Jeez.
What's the logic behind that? Donating to both sides.
What do you think? Because obviously,
Yeah,
Sam
I mean,
doesn't-
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to get in as many people's pockets as possible.
I think
Oh,
so.
just
Like, just wanted to
basically
curry favor.
create for favor on both sides. So just in
Yeah.
case something happens, you
Yeah,
would have
I think
some kind
so. And from my understanding, the Republican politicians he was donating to were like the more center-leaning ones. I know that he just really hated Donald Trump. This came out in Michael Lewis's book. Sam didn't tell me this, but apparently Sam was considering trying to pay Donald Trump
I heard
$5 billion
that.
to not run for
$5
president.
billion. I would
No
have took
way.
it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm taking $5 billion.
I would take $5 billion.
for $5 million or $5 billion.
If anyone would like to pay me $5 billion to not run for president,
not running
I'd be
for
happy.
I don't
4
think
years.
Trump would take it, dude.
Why,
Trump loves the country too much.
bro? But he
Yeah.
already took 4 years off.
Yeah, but he's running again.
Yeah, exactly. I would have ran again. Sam's in jail now.
Oh,
It would have worked.
wow. I saw you.
True.
You got invited to the White House, actually, right?
I did. But I feel like people think that that's because the president invited me to the White House. But it's just after posting videos for a few months, I got a random email that said invite to the White House. And I was like, this looks like a
Yeah, that
email.
sounds
This looks like a
sketch.
scam email.
They wanted to arrest.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is my
Come here.
I know. I'm like, I don't deserve to go to the White House.
Right.
And I responded and I was like, I literally said, this seems like a ploy to kidnap me or is a scam. If this is not a scam or a ploy to kidnap me, you have to send me a picture of you holding up 3 fingers and your government issued ID. You need to send me an email from a government email address. Like I put
And they
this
did all
person
of
through a
it.
bunch of hoops. Yes, and they did all of it.
Wow.
So it was a guy that's in the presidential secret service and he just invited me to be his +1 to the White
No way.
Wow. So he wanted to date you.
I told him up front, I was like, nothing romantic is happening here. I still have the messages. I was like, nothing romantic is happening here. If that's what you expect, then pick someone else to go with you. But if you're okay with nothing romantic happening, I will come with you as your +1 to the White House.
I definitely would have picked someone else.
Yes. Dude, that's like the hottest ticket in town. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's like a once in a
You
lifetime.
could have sold that for like 50 G's.
Yeah, I
probably.
would have picked somebody else.
Yeah, he's like,
okay.
this girl's not even going to put out.
Yeah.
Like, pick
All
someone
right.
else.
I'm good.
Go on Raya, go on Seeking Arrangements.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
So you got to meet Biden?
I did get to meet Biden. We
Wow.
didn't have an actual conversation, but everyone
Okay.
gets to like stand next to him and take a picture with him.
What was he like?
I didn't even vote Biden. Waxy. His face looked
Waxy.
he looked wet and waxy. He looked sweaty and like waxy.
Like not real.
He just looked like he had been like covered in makeup, like foundation, like women's foundation, and looked sweaty. And it
They
was
do
just-
try to hide the age. Now that you said,
I think they
say
do.
that.
I think
Yeah.
they do. It was weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah, because when you see him on videos, it's always like kind of,
Weird.
you know what I mean?
It looks weird in person. It was odd. So
Interesting.
yeah,
You
that was
think-
fun though.
You think he'll win again?
I hope not.
I don't think so.
I'm honestly not super political, but what do you guys?
I think Trump got an edge. A lot of edge. A lot. But
I kinda
we got to
think
see what happens with him.
RFK is taking votes away though.
Yeah. They were talking about RFK at the conference. A lot of people like him too. More concerned about his health, but they really like him.
Yeah, he does sound pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
The voice scares me a little
It
bit.
does kind of. I honestly can't like listen to him speak for too long. It just kind of like kind of icks me out. But that's
Oh man,
not
what do you
a
think of
political stance, but-
what do you think of the whole recent BitBoy stuff? Have you covered any of that?
Ooh, BitBoy.
What happened? I've talked to him. Okay, he came on the show.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he was out of it. So I don't know if
Did he come on the show right before the collapse or not?
Yeah, he
right
came on before the collapse. It was what we like 3 weeks out?
It was right before.
Yeah, it was like 3
he
weeks.
seemed off, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was twitching on the interview.
Rambling a lot. We kind of just let him talk the whole show, and he did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So did you think he was actually like on drugs? Because he's obviously denied being.
After that day, yeah, dude. To be honest,
I think something was off about him. I don't know what it was, but something's definitely off.
Yeah.
He ruined a lot of relationships too.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, BitBoy and we started off disliking each other because BitBoy, he messaged me when he went to the Bahamas to try to interview Sam Bankman-Fried, and he messaged me being like, get me in touch with Sam, something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't respond, and it became like a little dispute. Then we ended up like being on good terms because we were at conferences together, and he was always nice to me. So I don't have any like personal gripes with him in terms of like him being to me. Obviously a lot of people hate him and think he's a scammer, but then like that meltdown, I mean, that was
I didn't understand it.
I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. I do remember like a few weeks before that he was sending me like some slightly like erratic messages, but I was just like I didn't think that much of it. But yeah, the whole wife and
wife left him, right?
Thing.
Yeah, that I
mean,
think his company, the guy from his company, they separated from him.
Yeah,
he lost a lot, bro.
Yeah, he lost the company, lost the wife, lost a lot lot of crypto.
Yeah, he lost a lot.
That's the thing. I feel like to some degree, I do like feel for him, and like like he started that company himself. It was called BitBoy Crypto. I was like, you can really take that away from him. I didn't know that you can just pull the rug out from someone.
He was the face of it. It's going to be hard for that company to even rebrand, honestly.
Completely. I think that's kind of like them taking the company away from him. I'm kind of you guys can all leave the company and start your own company. I feel like to take it away.
But having him as the face of the company, and this mindset, this mental mindset that he's in, wouldn't be good for the company anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it has its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
In a way.
That's true.
When I think of BitBoy, I think of literally BitBoy.
Me too. I feel like you can't separate the two.
Yeah.
Nah.
So I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, the whole like personal life matter is.
I think he went
strange.
manic, honestly.
I think so too, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I think in that time too, crypto's down. I mean, I think a lot of people lost their mind when it came to crypto, just because they lost a lot. But as you know, and as you know, Sean's a big ETH holder that you got to hold.
Yeah.
So what's your mindset now on the?
I've always been a holder. Like I haven't sold. Yeah, I haven't sold. Well, because the reason I got into crypto was because one of my relatives was a Bitcoin miner back when I was in high school. So I got my first Bitcoin as a Christmas gift in 2011.
He's chilling now.
He's chilling. Do
you still have it, or did the Celsius have it?
Yeah, I put it into Celsius.
You got your first bit?
But I have other crypto that wasn't in Celsius. So I'm not doing great. That was a lot of my crypto, but it wasn't everything. But yeah, I hadn't sold any of it. So I'm certainly not like a day trader. I don't go and buy coins and like try to catch the market top or anything. So I'm also in the holding or little mindset.
Mining in 2011, he's got to be
that's crazy.
worth 9-10 figures now.
I know. Yeah. I mean,
who's this? Your uncle?
He doesn't want to be known just for his like safety
That's
and
fair.
everything. Yeah.
He might
Wait, so he still has Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, he's certainly sold over the
Bro, the
years.
price was like $5 back then.
Yeah.
60,
I remember because I was in high school. I didn't know what Bitcoin was, and he like for Christmas he was like, "It's a Bitcoin."
Yeah.
Like it's obviously not physical, but I think he wrote me like a card that said he was giving me a Bitcoin.
You probably hated that
Yeah, I was
gift
like,
at the time.
"The f- is this?" And he was like, "It's worth like 20." I don't remember what it was worth. Maybe like $5-10, 20. And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't care. Like, where's my actual gift?"
Wow.
That's the best gift you ever gotten, low key.
I know. Just at the time, I just didn't know what the f- it was, and I was like, "This isn't a real thing.
Yeah.
You wrote that you're giving me something on paper. Like, what the?"
No, I feel that though, because kids in my high school got made fun of for like even talking about crypto.
Did you know kids in high school that were like mining?
Yeah, and I would be friends with him because it interested me,
Did
and
you
I even
start
got
mining?
into it. I didn't mind, but he did.
Damn.
He had 2 computers mining, and I thought it was sick.
Is he
But
doing
everyone
well
else
now?
made fun of him. I mean, he's probably chilling now.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
It's always the people that get made fun of that end up on top.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I wish I
Same in that
befriended all
movie,
those
it's called
weirdos.
Dumb Money, about the GameStop stock. They got a movie about that.
Oh, I
They
haven't
did
watched
they did
that.
the
I've
same
heard
thing
of
with
it.
him. Yeah.
Ooh, is
Oh,
it
he
good?
got bullied heavy.
Bro, he came up crazy. He came up crazy.
I remember those days. I didn't make money on that one. Doge was wild when Doge blew up.
Yeah. Did you make any money off any coins?
I've never bought coins. Well, I actually like over the course of this, I'm now really good friends with Billy Marcus, the Dogecoin founder. So he's
nice.
given me a little bit of Doge for my birthday. That's the only coin I think I own. Other than that, like ETH, Bitcoin. I think I've bought a couple other projects along the way. Like I bought a little like Aave and Matic and yeah.
Solana.
I have a little Solana.
I know some Shiba millionaires.
Shiba Inu.
Really?
Yeah.
That one took off.
Did they sell?
I know 3. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Damn.
What are you working on now?
Now I'm just like, I don't know, I'm still doing content stuff and I'm just like finding my way out of the specific crypto niche because I don't know, I just thought about like, do I want to keep just doing the whole CoffeeZilla thing? I don't know if it's what I want to do forever.
I think you should because it's information.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about it, yeah. But Twitter's paying well. I saw you tweet a little bit about that.
Well, the Twitter payments are now down after Elon.
They're down?
After Elon said you to all the advertisers. I noticed.
They're losing the ad space.
They lost
Since
Disney,
the advertisers
right?
left, I noticed like a
money.
drastic decrease.
Yeah.
I think that like the most I made in a 2-week period was like 1,700 for 2 weeks, which is good for Twitter because I never even
it's good
expected to
for
make
tweeting.
money
Yeah,
for
just for
Twitter.
tweeting.
Yeah, and then like my latest payment I got today was like $130. So like we're down bad after the
So what
advertisers
about
left.
TikTok? How you doing on there?
I don't actually. I should use TikTok more. It just makes me feel cringy.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels like something that like very is Gen Z. But I know that you make a lot of shorts and you probably do really well with them.
Yeah, I mean, they don't pay anything crazy, but it's good for eyeballs.
Yeah, that
It
makes
leads to
sense.
business,
That
yeah.
makes sense. I'm just, I mean, you have a team too. I feel like just to go through and make every single one of these things, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
it takes enough time to make like a YouTube video just because I have to read so many documents. And for me, I'm like, I picked the wrong niche. Like a lot of the YouTube videos I was making were about the bankruptcy filings and bankruptcy proceedings. So I'm like reading 30-page court documents and trying to summarize them. I'm like, it's so insufferable. So honestly, I'm now in a bit of a state of limbo because I'm like, I don't know if this is what I want to do forever.
Yeah.
I need to inch my way out a bit.
I feel that. So no more dates with the crypto bros?
I know. I mean, my favorite scammer is going to go to jail for a long time. So no more Sammy. Oh God, I can't. I feel like I joke around with my friends in private and I'm like, Sammy is going to jail for a long time. But I'm like, yeah, that's not going to come off well probably. But
Has he talked to you at all recently?
I haven't talked to him since he went to jail in August. He got thrown in jail in August.
It's been a while then.
So I haven't talked to him. And we just talked a lot before that. And like, in a weird way, we sort of became friends.
You were close, from what I hear.
crazy.
Yeah, we did become friends. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird to be like friends with a scammer. But Sam was always nice.
Dang,
nice
she said
to
it's
me.
weird to be friends with a scammer. Do you believe his whole MO was to scam people, or did he not know what to do? His company scaled so fast, did he not know what to do with? What was it? You said $5 billion?
$8 billion.
I genuinely
$8 billion.
don't believe that his intent was to ever hurt customers. I don't believe that his intent was to ever enrich himself so that he could go buy yachts and like, what else do rich people buy? I don't know.
Everything. But
Yeah, like
isn't
party-
that the purpose
buy
of getting
hookers?
rich
Yeah.
though? That's the purpose of starting FTX was
He got
to,
carried away.
No, so the
what's-
reason
what's-
so people think that this is a PR. This is just him trying to do PR, but he believed in this thing called effective altruism. This, I guess, belief. Or
Effective what?
Effective altruism. It's funny that you guys
Altruism?
don't know because I feel like it's a very Silicon Valley people know what EA is, and I didn't know what it was going into it. But it's just this, I guess, way of life or mentality or mindset or philosophy, where you believe that the more money you accumulate, that you'll be able to donate to whatever charities you see fit. That's the way that you can have the most positive impact on the world. Because ultimately, if you go and volunteer for a charity and put in that amount of time of your hours, like how much good are you really doing? But if you're able to make an exorbitant amount of money and then donate that money to these charities, you're going to be able to like really multiply the amount of
So
good
is
that
that
you're
what he
able to
was
do.
doing?
That's what he was doing.
and that's considered fraud.
Well, that was, I think, his actual intent. But in order to get his hands on all this money that he allegedly, that he has claimed through and through that he wanted to donate to charity, he did commit some crimes along the way.
He committed some
He
crimes.
might have done some illegal things.
So he committed some crimes along the way in order to donate to charity.
I
That is
honestly-
like
Was he even
Robin Hood.
donating
That's
though?
really
or like,
that's really like breaking it down to simplify it. But yeah, ultimately he was donating like quite a bit to charity. He didn't donate everything he had. Well, in terms of his personal holdings, he actually didn't come out of this with that
Anything?
much money.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, he showed me screenshots of his personal bank accounts. He had like 200K in them.
Oh, that's
Obviously,
it?
people are
That's
like
a cap.
people are like he's hiding money away, which
Right.
could be true. I'm sure he could be hiding money, but I don't think he's hiding billions of dollars or anything. A lot of this
What do
money,
you think he's hiding? Like hundreds of millions, though, right?
I think probably probably certainly some millions.
Some hundreds of millions is somewhere.
I mean,
Because there's no way. So it's $8 billion gone.
it's missing,
No, so
bro.
that's the thing. The $8 billion, it's not gone. It's like he was making insane illiquid investments. So he was putting money into, for example, Anthropic. But one of FTX's largest investments was in Anthropic, the AI company.
Right.
And that investment has actually ended up doing really well.
So that company is still doing good.
Yeah, Anthropic, I think just because the AI, like, there's been so much interest in AI.
for sure.
Yeah, so I think it was a $500 million investment. And
Okay.
obviously
Damn.
you can't, yeah.
Okay, so that's
and
500
obviously
million.
you can't value it
So
now,
we,
but
so
some
we
people are.
still at 7.5 billion. I need to know where the other.
Oh my God. Ooh, there's like a big breakdown. I mean, there were a lot of illiquid venture investments where I wouldn't remember every
So it's
company he
all
invested
gone.
in. There was some like Robinhood shares. Well, mostly illiquid venture investments. The money that's gone, I would say, is like a lot of money went to politicians, and they're trying to get that money back to customers, but
Claw back,
claw back. But will these politicians give the money back? Who
doubt
knows?
it.
Yeah. So like that's the money that I think is gone. But Sam didn't he didn't own like super yachts. He didn't party at nightclubs. He didn't spend money on hookers and drugs. So
See, that's why I'm thinking, bro. I don't think he's gonna get that much time.
I think he is.
We'll see what happens. When do they
I think
sentence
he is.
it?
March 28th.
Okay.
And I'm going to fly to New York for it. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see what
I
happens.
mean, I
think
think
he's gonna get a long time.
if he gets sentenced, everybody would be so happy, but they still don't get their money back.
That's the thing. Well, so I don't know. What do you guys think is fair? Actually, I guess you guys don't follow what he's done.
Well,
so
I think
closely,
what's
but-
fair, I think he should minimum get probably like 5 to 10 years. It's a white collar crime. Granted,
seems fair.
it's a lot of money, but when you talk about what he actually spent the money on,
Didn't he buy like houses and
he stole. But
The real estate he had a $35 million penthouse in the Bahamas, which kept coming up in court and obviously looks really bad. And I'm not going to like defend it, but he also had 10 other FTX employees living with him in the
Oh, okay.
penthouse. So it wasn't like, it's like these guys are all billionaires and they're sharing a $35 million penthouse. I'm
right.
like, it's not.
Oh, so Caroline lived there?
Caroline, Gary Nishad.
Oh, wow.
All
See,
those
it's-
guys.
I just don't feel like, because when you hear stories about everyone else, it's like they bought islands, they bought this, they bought that, and I'm
Completely.
like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can see where the fraud is, but in his case, I think it was unintentional.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I'm trying to just get a better understanding of what he was doing that was
That's
just
the
so
thing.
fraudulent. Plus, I know in terms and conditions with banks, crypto holding companies, in that fine print, technically you don't own those coins anymore once they're
In
transferred
FTX,
there.
though, their terms of service did say that the customers retain titles to the coins.
Oh,
so
they do?
Okay.
Celsius, for example, we did transfer our title to the coins, but
Right.
FTX different. But you'll probably get some. I mean, I don't know how much your audience follows or cares about this stuff, but if I say something like, anything remotely not positive, but say something like, yeah, 5 to 10 years would probably be fair, I get a lot of heat because I think there's just a lot of people with pitchforks that are like, this guy needs to die in jail. He needs to
Okay,
rot.
so I think he should get 5 to 10, and if he dies in jail, then so be it. But,
But then so be it.
to just throw him away, bro. That's crazy.
He is a smart mind, but just use.
to throw him away. I think they can use him.
That's what
I think they can use him more than anything.
He's of more
There-
use to like the customer, the people who lost money. He's of
Certain
more use
criminals
putting him
need
to work.
jobs, bro. With the government. No, it's the truth,
I
right?
think so too.
Certain criminals need jobs.
I think he's one of those criminals.
They
who
used
should
to
have a
hire
job.
hackers in jail.
Right.
They were good.
If you put him in jail, he's going to educate them prisoners, and you're going to have a whole top row of people ready to go when they get out. I'm just trying to understand, like, why does he deserve life in prison? I understand the amount, but then there's also insurance companies, I'm sure, that was probably backing him. So there's ways to kind of recuperate that. I would hope so, right? Let's just hope that he had insurance to back FTX just in case of loss or anything.
No, there's no insurance for
Okay,
crypto.
cool.
Oh, he had no insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah, no insurance
But
on
the
his
thing
company.
Is the money that customers are actually going to end up losing after the bankruptcy is all said and done, it doesn't look like FTX customers are going to end up losing a lot because some of his insane illiquid investments that he shouldn't have made in the first place have surprisingly done really well. Like Anthropic was a $500 million investment, one of their largest investments, and people are now valuing that stake in Anthropic at potentially $2 to $3 billion.
wow.
Obviously, things like that. I think customers might end up being
So
made
did
whole.
the equity from FTX so he transferred their money and made other investments. So are those customers still locked in equities and shares to those other companies?
They're not as of now. It's really messy and complicated. So this is going to take like more
Because
than
you're
a
saying
year.
they're not losing that money. So are they gaining? Like, what do they actually get from those other investments that he made? Because
I don't think they're going to end up gaining.
That's more of a reason for him.
Yeah,
not
they
to
won't
go to
gain,
jail.
but they might be made
gain.
whole, right?
Yeah, the amount of money that they are technically owed, I think, is locked in on the date of the bankruptcy, which kind of sucks for them because crypto prices were down bad that day. But apparently, that's just the precedent in bankruptcies. You lock in that price. But I think it's very, especially with the prices right now skyrocketing. I think that customers are probably going to end up being made whole. I don't want to promise or say that is
And that's
really gonna happen
FTX.
because-
What about Celsius, you think?
Oh, Celsius, we're not going to be doing so well. I mean, we're going to get back a
He's not going to
percentage
jail, though.
of our money.
So
He's not going to jail?
No, he's in good shape.
Mashinsky did get indicted, and his trial is going to be in September next year. Even though Celsius went down before FTX, they took so long to indict Mashinsky. It's honestly just odd how fast they went after Sam, because usually these white-collar fraud cases apparently take a really long time.
Sam had more visibility,
He pissed
more
someone off.
and more
Yes.
brand recognition. Plus,
Exactly.
with Celsius, just like you said, you guys handed over the titles and everything to your actual coins.
Yes.
So his terms and conditions was actually written in a way that benefited him.
Yeah.
So more than likely, he's going to get off. He filed Chapter 11,
I still think
bro.
he committed some fraud, though.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
I
gonna
mean,
get time.
in that case, but what if they fine him $2-3 million?
We'll
or,
see.
or maybe 10. He
It would
still
be a
gets
shame
off.
if Sam goes to prison for life and Alex gets nothing, because I personally hate Alex Mashinsky more. I don't know. You guys probably
It's
don't
all
follow
about the
this
way
that
your
close.
company's structured, though.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, that one thing in the terms of service does help.
It helps
Mashinsky
a lot.
Yeah.
That's the whole trial.
Well,
Yeah.
Tiffany, it's been fun. Anything you want to promote or close off with?
Oh, I mean, I'm on Twitter at Tiffany Fong with 1_, on YouTube at Tiffany Fong. I mean, I'm on most of the platforms. If you just look up Tiffany Fong, you'll find me.
Simple name. All right.
Easy. Fong, F-O-N-G.
You heard it here, guys. Hopefully you guys watch and get your crypto back. Until then, see you next time. Peace.
Bye, guys.